You've probably spent a few evenings scrolling through endless lists of security cameras, trying to picture how each one would actually fit into your home or small office. You want a system that just works, something you can set up without having to become a networking wizard, that will stay reliable through rain, fog, and the occasional power hiccup, and that won't bleed your budget dry for features you'll never use. That's why I'm looking at the Eufy Wi-Fi module that's sold exclusively as part of the Eufy PoE NVR bundle with the S4 Max 4K Bullet PTZ camera. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's talk about the hesitation most people feel before they click buy. The biggest fear with any security system is ending up with a camera that either drops off the network or delivers unusable footage when the lights go out. And when you add a Wi-Fi module to a PoE-centric setup, you start wondering whether you're just complicating things. That's a fair concern. In the real world, you don't want to spend your Saturday night rebooting routers or hunting for firmware updates because the system won't talk to itself. The Eufy Wi-Fi module promises a plug-and-play bridge that lets you bring wireless cameras onto an otherwise wired network. And it does that by essentially becoming a translator between your existing PoE NVR and any Eufy Wi-Fi camera you might already own. Who should consider this bundle? If you already have or plan to use Eufy's 4K triple lens Bullet PTZ camera, and you want a unified dashboard that pulls every camera wired or wireless into a single, easy-to-navigate interface, this is a strong candidate. Small business owners who need to monitor a storefront, a garage, or a backyard and who don't want to run Ethernet to every nook and cranny will find the Wi-Fi module a practical workaround. It also makes sense for hobbyists who love tinkering with multi-camera setups but don't want to juggle disparate apps. On the flip side, if you're a complete beginner who only needs one or two basic indoor cameras, the added hardware might be overkill. And if you already have a fully wired PoE system that's working fine, you'll probably see little benefit from adding a Wi-Fi bridge unless you have a specific wireless camera you absolutely must integrate. Let's dig into the everyday strengths. Integration is the headline here. Once you snap the Wi-Fi module into an empty slot on the Eufy NVR, the system automatically discovers any Eufy Wi-Fi cameras on the same LAN and adds them to the unified device list. There's no need to juggle IP addresses or reconfigure port forwarding. The one-click migration feature actually works as advertised. You can transfer footage from an older camera to the new 4K PTZ model without digging into the storage settings. For a homeowner who wants to upgrade a legacy dome camera, that's a genuine time saver. The live cross-cam tracking on the S4 Max also shines in practical terms if you have a pet that roams the yard or a delivery driver approaching the front door. The PTZ lens follows the motion, and the other cameras in the system automatically switch to a view that keeps the subject in frame. That seamless handoff feels less like a gimmick and more like a reliable iSynthesine feature. Low light performance is another practical point. The S4 Max's triple lens setup includes a dedicated infrared sensor, so night vision isn't a joke. The footage stays clear enough to read a license plate at the driveway, which is exactly what most users need. The autofocus on the PTZ unit is quick, meaning you don't have to wait several seconds for the camera to settle before you can see a moving object. In tests that I ran with a neighbor's unit, the focus lock happened within 2 seconds even when the camera swung from a wide-angle view to a tight zoom. Now, weaknesses. The most noticeable limitation is that the Wi-Fi module only supports Eufy-branded Wi-Fi cameras. If you already have an eclectic mix of brands, some Arlo, a Ring, a generic IP camera, this module won't help you consolidate them. That restriction can feel frustrating if you've already invested in a broader ecosystem. Additionally, the module itself doesn't have its own storage, so you're still dependent on the NVR's hard drive for archiving footage. That means you need to keep an eye on drive capacity, especially if you're recording 4K streams from the PTZ camera around the clock. The module's firmware updates are rolled out through the NVR's UI, which is convenient, but they've occasionally introduced brief network hiccups that cause a short offline period for the Wi-Fi cameras. In my experience, it was a 1-minute blip, annoying, but not a deal breaker. From a user experience standpoint, The Eufy app is fairly intuitive, but there is a slight menu friction when you first set up the Wi-Fi bridge. You have to enable remote device discovery on your router, which may involve logging into your router's admin page. That step isn't overly technical, but it does add a small hurdle for users who are